Oh, yo, we gotta give God his glory at least, you know. So I'm gonna read the Bible and I'm gonna upload it. But it's very hot. I feel a little anxious actually, but I feel fine. So we're on Matthew 8. So we're on Matthew number 8. So I hope you guys are there. Yes, Matthew's my middle name. Shout out all the Matthews in the world. So Matthew 8, Jesus cleanses a leper. When he came down from the mountain, great crowds followed him, and behold, a leper came to him and knelt before him, saying, Lord, if you will, you can make me clean. And Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus said to him, see that you say nothing to anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded. Show yourself to the priest and offer the gift that Moses commanded for proof to them. I'm sorry about that noise. Oh, wait, so I think leprosy is like a skin disease, so he just has to show himself to the man, and then the priest is going to just see him, you know? The faith of a centurion. When he had entered Capernaum, a centurion came forward to him, appealing to him, Lord, my servant is lying paralyzed at home, suffering terribly. And he said to him, I will come and heal him. But the centurion replied, Lord, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but only say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I too am a man under authority with soldiers under me, and I say to one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does that. When Jesus heard this, he marveled and said to those who followed him, truly I tell you, with no one in Israel have I found such faith. I tell you, many will come from east and west and recline at table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. I always wondered why this was such an exciting thing for Jesus to hear. Like, what would make him feel like that man had so much faith? Did he, maybe the man in charge, relate his order to God? Like, did Jesus feel like that man understood his purpose to be there, to be, you know, he's the Son of God, so he has authority to be there with authority. You know, so that's what he's saying. He actually believes that that's Jesus' purpose. So I think that's why he was excited. I tell you, many will come from east and west and recline at table with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven, while the sons of the kingdom will be thrown into the outer darkness. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So he's saying, while the sons of the kingdom, like, I guess, like the princes of this world, will be thrown into the outer darkness, in that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. To have faith in this is actually kind of scary, you know? And to the centurion, Jesus said, go, let it be done for you as you have believed. And the servant was healed at that very moment. Sounds like a self-belief thing, you know? And when Jesus entered Peter's house, he saw his mother-in-law lying sick with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her. And she rose and began to serve him. That evening they brought to him many who were oppressed by demons, and he cast out the spirits with the word and healed all who were sick. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. He took our illnesses and bore our diseases. So Isaiah said that in the past. So he took our illnesses and bore. A reference to Isaiah's prophecy of the servant. So in Isaiah 53, I guess he has a prophecy. Focus on Jesus' messianic role as healer. The fact that all sicknesses have demonic origin is seen in the distinction between the healings of the sick and the casting out of spirits from those oppressed by demons. Oh, wait, talking about demons. Don't you? And so Jesus heals Peter's mother-in-law who had a fever. The cost of following Jesus. Now, when Jesus saw a crowd around him, he gave orders to go over to the other side. And a scribe came up and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. Another of the disciples said to him, Lord, let me first go and bury my father. And Jesus said to him, follow me and leave the dead to bury their own dead. Like if somebody's writing this down, trying to remember exactly what he had done, they're actually remembering, I guess, like some clever stuff he would say. Doesn't it make sense that that would be the only thing that they remember? It's like more of clever, like one time he said foxes have holes and birds have their nests, but that he had nowhere to lay his head. And then in the same, I guess, end of the day diary, I don't know how Matthew's writing it. And Jesus said to him, follow me. Or that someone, so Matthew's saying that one of the disciples after that said, let me go first and bury my father. So I guess Jesus asked him to do something. And that was his response. And Jesus, you would write it down because that one might make you think like, damn, Jesus didn't want you to even go bury your dad. He wanted you to be there with him. That sounds kind of radical, or not radical. I don't know. I can't say that like kind of like a leader. Like no, or my purpose is here and now. So Jesus was really focused. Jesus calms a storm, and when he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. And behold, there arose a great storm. So if someone's like saying, trying to like summarize it, he's like, so what happened next? Oh, okay. So Jesus and all his followers got in a boat, and then started to be a storm. But then, there was big waves. It says so that the boat was being swamped by the waves, but that Jesus was asleep. And then they woke him, saying, like, telling him, help us, help us. And he said to them, why are you afraid? Oh, of you little faith. I'm paraphrasing because I read this before, but I'm really trying to understand the story. Then he rose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was great calm. And the men marveled, so that it says that the men just were like pretty amazed. And then even his own disciples were like, what sort of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him? I don't know, is it bad to see yourself with having just faith like that, I would say? So Jesus heals 2 men with demons in Jesus' name. And when he came to the other side, to the country of Gadarenes, 2 demon men who were possessed met him coming out of the tombs, so fierce that no one could pass that way. And behold, they cried out, what have you to do with us, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time? Now a herd of many pigs was feeding at some distance from them, and the demons begged him, saying, if you cast us out, send us away into the herd of pigs. I wonder why. And he said to them, go. So they came out and went into the pigs, and behold, all the pigs rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the waters. This is a crazy story if you really think about it. But really, for someone to come up with it is pretty, they might really want you to be afraid. But this is written as if it was a story actually seen. But the demon said, if you cast us out, send us away into the herd of pigs. And he said to them, and so they came out, they went to the herd of pigs. That's pretty much saying like that spirit of like that negative spirit is even so negative and so dark that those pigs are like, just send us into the pigs. And even when it was so negative, pulling you towards such negative that they even went over they stopped eating, they stopped doing something pleasurable to just jump themselves, like commit suicide or jump over the cliff, or I don't know. That same pulling, that same negative pulling was also in those men, The herdsmen fled, and going into the city, they told everything. Especially what had happened to the demon-possessed men. And behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged him to leave the region. And I wonder why. They said for him to leave. Okay, so I guess right here the author is saying that they lost so much. Well, I guess because Jesus kind of. I mean, yeah. I mean, wouldn't they be like, what the fuck? So he put the spirit into the pigs, and the pigs all of a sudden started doing some weird behavior, just going over the cliff. I guess they went into the water and drowned, because it says it right there. So they rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the waters. So they started running down the little bank into the water. So it says, at the loss of this large herd, about 2,000 pigs, the pig's fate in the sea prefigures and pictures the final fate of demons when God defeats Satan and throws him into the lake of fire. So I guess he's kind of like doing more of the symbolism of it. Jesus accomplished the decisive defeat of Satan in his earthly ministry and ultimately in his crucifixion and resurrection. So he's talking about the Bible entirely. What else did I say? Oh yeah, imagine that. If it just puts all the pigs like, and that's like all your herd, it's all your. That's like, man, Jesus, you gotta go, bro. Kind of feel like that with the cans, or they're like, you're taking too many cans, bro. Taking too many cans from my neighborhood, bro. But anyway, that was Matthew 8. Jesus cleans a leper. He heals many people. The cost of following Jesus. Jesus calms a storm. Calming of a storm one is about a lot of faith. Jesus healing demons, of course. Jesus, he's just, maybe that's how perfect he is. He's kind of like a Jedi with the lightsaber. Like he's just such a. It's like a bride with a white dress. Like Jesus is that holy. He could do those things, It's an awesome story. Like, this story is pretty awesome. Like a perfect thing came down to die for the imperfect things in order for them to live again. Crazy, right? It's like one of the most beautiful stories ever. It's amazing. I'm a sinner, man. Horrible. Horrible. But maybe there's something more beyond this. We don't know. Peace. Be safe.